Where did we leave off?
Chapter 3, I believe we last left off.
Yeah.
And I was just telling I Am Shadow here how I was... I Am Shadow here was telling me here about this idea she was having. Well, as I said, she asked me how experienced I was in SFM. She wanted... Sir, let me just dig up the chat. She wanted my help in adapting some grimdark fanfics from My Little Pony, the such like Silent Ponyville and The Cough, just to name some. You know The Cough, Gonzo?
No.
The Cough is it's a creepypasta.
Of a very, very dark fan fiction that is involving the main six. I believe Mike the Microphone did a reading of this. It's something about the main six having to find out some kind of sickness or something that the title namesake should tip you off to what the symptom of it is.
Probably like a black plague or something. I'm already creeped out about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, chapter 3, correct?
Yes.
What's the name of the chapter?
Most adorable tea party ever. Gonzo, are you ready?
Let's recap pretty much. From the first 2 chapters from the other night, Twilight Sparkle was we pretty much got her off the whole worrying about her assignment, and we ended up
the horror of a written essay,
or the lack thereof. We got her playing with dolls with Pinky and Spike, and we kind of got ridiculed by.
And now
they're role playing.
Now Rainbow Dash and the CMC are about to join them.
Yes.
Well, let's see how things are gonna go.
Yes, we are
the most adorable tea party ever.
The Feisty 3 back again.
Feisty
That's
3.
Check my DA if you don't get the reference, because it's a pic I uploaded. Shut up.
I'll deal with it later.
But yes, the 3 schmucks back again. Let's dig back into My Little Ponies by Baby Boo. A rainy day, Rarity reflected. Oh shit, starting off with Rarity. How nice.
Joy.
Was just what the little belle over her boutique door needed. The rush of new custom following from her designs for the royal wedding had been quite working the poor belle to exhaustion and fraying its silver nerves. Oh, so apparently this takes place sometime after a Canterlot wedding. That's interesting. With the rain keeping ponies at home, the belle could take a well-deserved break. In its silence, Rarity herself could find time to finish taking care of business and accomplish some work.
Work?
Yes, work. Work that body, work that body.
That body, don't you know, hurt nobody.
With the sky outside dark and the lamps inside lit, the day passed in a timeless trance of full steam creativity. It wasn't until her stomach began to complain of missing both lunch and dinner. Whoa.
Nice, Rarity, he's a busybody.
Yeah. Don't you be going anorexic on me.
Oh dear.
That she looked up and realized...
Sorry, I was about to say, we don't need an anorexic marshmallow!
Rarity, eat yourself before it's too late.
Yes. She looked up and realized it wasn't only the doorbell being silent, but Sweetie Belle as well. Rarity frowned. Sweetie was supposed to be staying with her tonight, yes? The wall calendar confirmed it. Their parents were to be out of town over another 2 days, so her little sister should have been filling the boutique with noise and calamity for hours now.
Sweetie Belle?
She called twice, moving up the staircase toward the guest bedroom. Sweetie could have come in quietly, uncharacteristic as that would be, but Rarity already knew that it wasn't so. The boutique felt empty. There was no sign of her sister anywhere. She returned downstairs and looked out the window at the clouds hanging low and ominous outside, though the rain itself had subsided to a moderate sprinkle. Her dramatic side helpfully presented a half-baked array of dreadful misfortunes that could befall a lone filly out in foul weather, and she decided that positive action would be the best way to avert panic.
I'll just have to brave the elements and go looking for her,
she declared out loud, squaring her shoulders courageously. A sound of thunder replied, making her jump and give a high-pitched whinny of surprise. Rarity trying to hold a brave face, but still pussing out as always.
Yeah.
Her
she doesn't want to get her mane wet.
Oh, yeah. We all know that for a fact.
I don't want to go outside, because if I do, all the birds will have wing boners.
Well, wet manes do make a mare attractive.
You're not helping!
Yes. Oh, don't take that personally, though.
Oh no, this is Rarity. I'm just being Rarity.
Her shoulders and courage slumped a bit.
I do wish she could have chosen a day when the elements didn't need quite so braving.
While she was looking through her rainwear wardrobe, trying to decide which coat best complemented the hues of the evening, there came a sudden noise as of a tambourine slapping a harp.
Ooh.
Hmm?
That's, an interesting illusion. A globe of vivid magenta light popped up into being above the dais at the center of her work floor. Again she jumped, but only slightly, recognizing at once the color and feel of Twilight Sparkle's magic. Well then. The light blinked out, leaving in its place a scroll, which bounced off the back of the half-dressed Ponikin of the dais and rolled towards Verity. So apparently, the Ponification term for mannequin is Ponikin.
What?
The pony equivalent of a mannequin, a dummy, is a
Oh, a Ponikin.
I learned something new today, folks. And
Pony terminology.
Yes, and I wasn't aware that Twilight could apparently pull off Spike's uses of magic in delivering scrolls. I mean, did you?
I don't know. Never see her do that on the show.
Yeah. With a soft hum of curiosity, she picked it up and untied the ribbon.
Dear Rarity, Sweetie Belle and her friends were caught out on the rain after school and end up here in the library. They're safe, dry, and welcome to wait on the rain with us. If it gets dark before the storm clears, I'll walk her home. It's no trouble at all. As ever, your friend, Twilight Sparkle. P.S. Sweetie wants to be sure I'll tell you that she's sorry if you were worried. P.P.S. Pinkie Pie also wants to add a P.S.
Pinkie
No,
Pie.
Pinkie.
Oh, Pinkie. Rarity let out a deep breath of tension relieved, feeling suddenly much lighter, and blinked away a little tingle of tears. Aww.
Oh, Twilight Sparkle, such a sweet and thoughtful pony. When you're not lost in a book or going absolutely mad in pursuit of a theory, at least. How fitting. And such perfect timing, too.
Again, she faced the window and dared the stormy heavens to stand in her way.
Well, I'm certainly not going to make Twilight go out of her way to bring Sweetie Belle home. I must go out and fetch her myself before they leave the library.
Another rumble of thunder had a pensive frown on her face.
Sure that they won't go until the rain dies down just a teensy bit more, though.
Smart.
Uh-huh.
A moment later, her eyes lit up with a fine idea.
Aha! I can use the time to whip up a thank you gift for Twilight. Now, what can I put together on such short notice?
She pursed her lips and sought inspiration among the tools and scraps littering the workshop. Oh, Jesus, I wonder what she's going to do.
What could she make?
One could certainly wonder, but anyway.
She better not be making a Pigamine doll.
No. Let's not go into LMR territory yet.
Yeah, not yet. It could be worse. It could be Researcher Twilight.
Oh, I remember that. Nice one.
Let's go.
Twilight Sparkle smiled across the table, feeling more relaxed than she had for days. Much to her own surprise, the tea party was turning out quite a success. Oh, I simply adore the Royal Philharmonic.
Oh, I get the reference.
Yes. Dipping forward to take a dainty sip from the gigantic teacup in front of her. Major Key truly is one of the most brilliant conductors ever to grace Canterlot.
I agree, absolutely.
Replied Rarity, bouncing slightly in excitement.
I haven't yet had the pleasure of personally attending a performance, but I do have so many other records.
You haven't? My word, you simply must join us when they play at the Palace. Spike and Sweetie Belle were both enjoying the game on its own merits. Spike had donned his tuxedo jacket and top hat for the occasion and was happy.
Well!
Oh, okay then. I didn't know this was also a bit of a game of dress-up as well. Well then.
Spike showing some swag.
Swag. Yeah, want to suck my tit, you dumb bitch. Swag.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Sweetie had chosen from the array of dress-up clothes Pinkie Pie had inexplicably produced, of course, a lovely dress of pale raspberry that complemented both hues of her mane and did a fine job imitating her sister's elegant mannerisms. She seemed delighted to be doing something so decorous and basically non-threatening to life and limb with her rambunctious friends.
That would be positively marvelous, Your Highness.
Rarity exclaimed.
Music is one of the finer pleasures in life, even life on the farm. Wouldn't you say, Big Macintosh? What's he doing here?
Wait, what is he doing here?
Huh? Wait!
What is he? Wait. Big Macintosh is cultured?
Culture?
God forbid!
Applejack does not approve.
Big Mac shrugged complacently. Yup, he said before plunging back into a cinnamon bun nearly as tall as himself.
What?
Big Mac? Cultured? Has Discord ran amok again?
I guess so. Oh my god, Discord comes back and makes the Apple family cultured?
Apple Bloom visibly couldn't care less about the tea party itself, but it suited her fine as a venue for Spike's cooking. Choosing her brother as her party companion let her get away with not talking much, and she'd been amiable enough about donning a yellow dress and letting Pinky replace her customary hair bow with a big lacy confection decked in feathers and silk flowers. Twilight frankly thought it made the filly look like she'd backed into a wedding cake. But at least it wasn't as silly as the hat Pinky had foisted on her rainbow. Oh, God.
Oh, God. What do they put on Rainbow now?
Oh, we'll have to keep reading.
Oh god.
More tea, Miss Finish? Asked Fancy Pants.
Fancy pants?
Are we dealing with the imagination again?
Yes,
we
hovering
are.
a teapot the size of a carriage over the giant cup in front of the photographer.
Oh yes, that would be most excellent.
Replied Photo Finish in a tar thick but scrumptiously polite accent.
Speaking
Oh, here we go.
The magics.
The magics. Oh, here we go. Here it is.
Okay, here it
Dash. Well, Dash was playing along with a certain grim determination. She had accepted the lacy white frock and ludicrously rooted sun hat as a...
She's Fruit!
She's Fruit!
If slightly sadistic payback for spying.
Help me, I'm being Fruit!
Told that she had to pick a doll companion with her obvious first choice taken already by Scootaloo, and Pinky apologetically explaining she hadn't got any Wonderbolts yet. Dash had drawn Photo Finish at random from the sack and proceeded to mangle her Germanic accent so badly it had to be criminally actionable somehow.
Oh, poor Dash.
Yes.
With honor allowing her no escape, Dash had evidently decided to take the tea party as a challenge. If any pony was going to disrupt the decorum of the affair, it wouldn't be her. Twilight chuckled to herself. She'd never seen any pony play make-believe to win. Oh, really, Dash?
To win.
Please. Please, Rainbow Dash, it's not a competition.
Life is not a game. Life is not a game, Dash. It's not Yu-Gi-Oh! For crying out loud.
Oh dear God, God forbid you'll be riding on a motorcycle with cards.
Oh,
Card games on motorcycles!
yes.
Vroom vroom.
And may I say that you look positively smashing today, my dear. Smashing.
Smashing.
Fancy Pants continued as he poured the tea. Whoever made your dress is quite talented, even if she's no rarity.
Yes, she is. Of many surprises.
Photo Finished answered, with a certain caution in her voice. And your little companion is just stunning in that frock as well.
Yes, I'm sure she is.
Photo Finished seemed somehow put off by the compliment.
But then, she makes anything look good, naturally.
Pinky, of course, could find entertainment in a visit to the National Museum of Boring Things, and was just as enthusiastic about a tea party as any other kind. She chose in Fancy Pants with a passing remark about ponies other than the main six deserving attention. Evidently, that was what she privately called their little clique of friends, and Twilight kind of liked the sound of...
Oh wait,
I am reading
hold
this
on,
correctly.
you kind of broke out for a bit.
I just stopped suddenly when I just realized what I just read.
But...
Let me read that again so it'll sink in.
Yeah.
I had chosen Fancy Pants with a passing remark about ponies other than the main six deserving attention. Evidently, that was what she privately called their little clique of friends, and Twilight kind of liked the sound of it. You heard that correctly, people.
Oh.
Continue?
Moving right along.
Not as formal as the Bearer of the Elements, and much better than the only other group name she heard proposed, the Dash Commandos.
Wait.
Or the elements of insanity.
Pinky was either entirely... Oh yes, insanity. Pinky was either entirely oblivious to Dash's barely concealed discomfort with the lace and manners atmosphere of the party, or else taking a very subtle delight in tormenting her. I think I'll lean more towards the latter. Twilight wasn't sure which, but that hardly bothered her. Having a clear idea of Pinkie Pie's motivations would strike her more as a symptom than an insight. I'm sure Miss Rarity has dozens of designs, so you'd be glad to have your friend model, Fancy went on with endless cheer. Photo finish gave him a long, motionless stare.
Of this, I am certain, without a shadow of a doubt. Unfortunately, she is far too busy doing anything else in the world.
Rainbow Dash sat on a plate of assorted baked goods nearby and glared at the rest of the party in truculent silence. The final member of the party didn't have much to say, and neither did the Dash doll on the table in front of her. Scootaloo looked as berry as a wet cat in the rose-pink sundress and bonnet.
My God.
Into which she'd been coerced, and her participation had been limited to a few terse comments from Dashy and some attention to the refreshments, while watching the proceedings with a look of surly disgust worthy of a full-blown adolescent. It was entirely clear that she was bothering with emotions only under the example of her personal hero, but she wasn't making an active fuss. Either considering small rewards she might be able to offer Scootaloo if the filly continued to behave herself after the ordeal was over, Twilight drew a deep, gentle sigh and relaxed back on her cushion. Dress-up games like this still weren't her, well, cup of tea. Oh. I see what you did there, Story. But anything that could get Dash, Pinky, and all three Crusaders to stay quiet and undestructive for so long had to be a sort of magic in itself. You got a point there, I think. Oh, then. Rarity stepped out into the crisp evening, the rain falling to no more than a drift of mist. The sky, gradually being cleared by diligent Pegasi, had darkened to a teal-fringed blue, perfectly matching her choice of raincoat and parasol. Satisfied, she trotted smartly toward the center of town, a round violet box floating at her side. So she did do it after all, then. Excuse me. On the stone bridge ahead, she saw a familiar orange and yellow color combination.
Well, it's Applejack.
Yep.
Increasing her pace, stepping high to minimize contact with the muddy road, she called musically,
"Oh, Applejack!"
That was perfect. The orange pony turned her head. In her teeth she held a bow of twine from which dangled a flat pink bakery box. Oh, hey, Rarity, she mumbled amiably, slowing her steps to let the unicorn catch up. Ribbons of steam furling from Applejack's cargo, thick and white in the cool air, teased Rarity's nose with delightful warm cinnamon spice aroma.
Let me guess. Would that be a fresh baked apple pie you're taking to Twilight Sparkle?
Yep. How'd you know? Applejack quirked her brown husband, then got it in a... Oh, right, sweetie Belle. Rarity suppressed a smirk at the twine-induced speech impediment. She knew better than to offer proud Applejack help with carrying things, and taunting an earth pony about holding items in her mouth would simply be vulgar. She did perhaps enunciate her own words with a certain playful precision. That's you.
Oh, let me see. Wait. Hold on. Where?
She did.
Oh, indeed, Sweetie Belle ended up at the library too. I don't know about you, but Twilight's letter came just in the spare time of full-blown panic attack with my wayward little sister.
Applejack spoke volumes about Rarity and panic with a silent roll of her eyes. Ain't that the truth? Rarity replied with a petulant little hoof bop to her shoulder. Hoof bop!
Hoof bop! Oh, you're worried sick too, admit it.
She said waspishly. Okay. There's a word I never even knew existed in the English dictionary.
Waspishly.
Yes.
Never heard of that, huh?
You learn something new every day, as I said.
Yep.
Anyways, Applejack's smug twitch of a smile agreed, but only with the notation that she hadn't been panicking about it.
Fine, have your self-control.
Rarity sniffed. She swung her hat box around in front of Applejack.
Anyway, I also got a little gift for Twilight. Would you like to see it?
Applejack shrugged, enough of a cue for Rarity to flip open the box and lift out her newest creation. It was a soft, floppy Renaissance cap of dark purple velvet, with a clever furl in its rim to accommodate a horn.
Oh, that's nice.
Placed to frame the wearer's horn tip was a poof of pink lace studded with small star-shaped gems, trailing an elegantly curled comet trail of pink and lavender ribbon. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Aww.
As Leo would say, though, prepare for a renaissance of pain. Super Monday Night Combat, people.
Oh, I don't play that, so I was totally
The
clueless.
farmer's eyebrows rose in appreciation. Thanks, Rish Nush, Rarity. Schnock all fancy.
Not all fancy.
Why is it so funny to hear Applejack talk like that?
Okay,
Oh, that's not right nice, Rarity. Not all fancy.
She waved her hoop vaguely, trying to convey the understatement of the cap's design, in contrast to the unicorn's typical extravagance. Rarity favored her with an indulgent smile.
Oh, yes. I know you and Twilight share a taste for less complicated styles. I'm glad you like it.
She allowed herself a prideful giggle as she repackaged the hat.
I had the basic hat already made, actually, because I saw the velvet and I just had to find a way to display it along Twilight's natural violet shades. So really, I'm happy with the excuse to finish it.
Applejack nodded again, just as if any other part of that were interesting to her, and plodded along complacently, letting Rarity's tales of haberdashery roll past her ears. Excuse me. Oh, let's go back to see how our little ponies are doing then, shall we?
Yeah.
Spike lifted the teapot to refill Pinky's cup, but only a thin dribble came out. Whoop, out of tea. Any pony still want some more?
Yes, please, if you wouldn't mind.
Twilight said. Not at all. Be back in just a minute. Spike rose from the cushion and took the teapot toward the kitchen. Ooh, could you make some more of these little cucumber sandwiches too, please? These things are so good, Pinky called, voice muffled by the last of said sandwiches in her mouth. Well then. I
Pinky
guess
the
she is a
pig.
little piggy after all.
Yeah.
Or maybe she'll eat them all and we'll have a repeat of the pudge.
Oh dear Lord.
Thanks, Spikey! I'll help, Sweetie Belle piped, hopping up to follow the dragon. Oh, that's...
Oh.
No worries.
Oh, it's okay.
Applebloom's eyes widened as she watched Sweetie go. She looked uneasily toward the grown-ups, who didn't seem at all concerned about the conjunction of Sweetie Belle and a kitchen. Oh,
Yeah, remember that? Remember that?
yeah.
Sisterhood social.
Bloom is surprised. I was going to serve you breakfast in bed. I can't do
know
it.
you could burn juice.
Carrying on,
Yeah. Reckon I'll go help.
she said carefully, giving Scootaloo a significant look.
You wanna come too, Scootaloo?
Scootaloo looked back as though Bloom had asked whether she'd like some extra homework.
No. You go right ahead. You sure you don't want to help Sweetie Belle with the cooking?
Applebloom's head jerked urgently toward the kitchen like she had a flea in her ear. Scootaloo's level gaze in response indicated that she got the message, but hadn't yet forgiven any pony for the bonnet. She folded her forelegs and sat up straight with great dignity.
Nope, I'm having a crumpet.
She grabbed a pastry that she probably thought was a pastry and took a slow, deliberate bite. Applebloom shot in annoyance and hurried off.
Oh.
I can't...
I
think that is Rarity.
Yeah, I do hope the girls aren't giving Twilight too much trouble. They can be such a hooful.
They'll be fine. Probably playing with Spike. He's got a level head about him, said Applejack. One tiny hint of a giggle from Rarity led her to rearrange the twine bow of the pie box so she could talk more clearly. And her letter said Pinky was there too, so Try's not only the only grown-up. Rarity's hoof steps slowed and a thoughtful frown settled onto her features.
Yes, she did mention Pinky.
Yeah. It's like they're already figuring out that shit's about to go down.
It's already going down. What are you saying?
Applejack's own gaze grew distant, her voice slow and careful as though reasoning her way out across a thinly iced lake. So, it's not just Twilight trying to handle fillies all by...
Herself. No, she has,
Pinkie Pie with her.
along with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, stuck inside on a rainy day.
In a library full of wood and paper?
And a wide array of magical and scientific paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Are we thinking the science experiments of Twilight Sparkle?
Oh, God.
Don't turn to researcher Twilight.
Yes. Without any overt signal, both began to walk a little faster.
Oh, come on!
A few steps later, they were trotting. By the time they passed Sugar Cube Corner, both were galloping as fast as they could.
Oh, by the way, think about it there. Run!
With half the party out of the room, Pinky leading over toward Twilight and nudged her side. So, she said in a leading voice, wiggling her eyebrows. Twilight blinked at her.
So, what?
So, you got any more cool magic tricks to show us? Pinky grinned like a sunbeam. Rainbow dashed out of the soft triumphant, ha! Convinced that she just won the tea party. And oh, come on.
Say it again. I am Shadow, or Twilight, as I should say.
It's where?
Not a game. Life is not a game.
Life is not a game, Dash.
Yes.
Life is not a Wonderbolt Academy.
Yeah, you must have something up your sleeve we haven't seen before, right? Scootaloo perked up and looked eagerly across the table. Enormous filly eyes were difficult to resist. I know that for a fact.
Yep.
Where am I?
That's
Wait.
Twilight next.
Oh, I don't do tricks.
Twilight said with a shade of professional indignation. She made a half-conscious gesture as of adjusting a broad-brimmed hat on her head, making it clear what sort of unicorn she associated with tricks. Ooh.
Ooh.
Burn, Rarity.
More like Burn Tricks. More like Burn to Trixie.
Oh, now I got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what I mean, Pinky answered mildly apologetically. I guess I should say, would you demonstrate a spell for us?
Are you sure?
Please, chimed the other two.
Well, I'm not sure. It's a new spell, and I don't think it would be brave to be responsible to...
So there is a new spell, Dash interjected.
Well, yeah, I haven't practiced it yet, though.
Is it dangerous? Asked Dash, even more interested. Twilight paused to consider. Was it? She'd never actually performed the spell before, but it wasn't complicated. She understood the general class of magic it belonged to well enough to avoid any fundamental errors, and the targets would be inanimate, so even if she had completely misunderstood the documentation, which with no false modesty was highly unlikely, no living thing would be at risk.
Are we forgetting the fact that there's...
Go ahead.
Two other ponies and 3 fillies and 2 more on the way?
Now that you mentioned it, Gonzo, the next line should say for itself. What's the worst that could happen? Really?
Famous last words! Alongside,
Yes.
hold my beer and watch this.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? Okay. Not as a dismissal, she asked herself, but as a question to address seriously. She rifted through the mental card file labeled Potential Hazards of Spell Failure. Oh, God.
Oh, God. The potential hazard of spell failure.
None of the serious ones seemed likely with this particular procedure. The structure of the spell was such that nearly every mistake she could imagine making would just cause it to not go off at all, risking no more than a waste of energy.
No, it shouldn't be dangerous.
She said thoughtfully.
It's just a general principle that if you're sure nothing can go wrong with a new spell, you need to think again. There is a reason why you normally try things out the first time with only an armored, fireproof assistant present, after all.
Ooh, is it a fire spell? Dash's eyes positively twinkled.
Well, no. There's no fire involved.
Again, she ran through her catalog of hazards. No fire, no corrosive or explosive materials, no electrical discharges. It didn't bend the fabric of space and time, nor invoke entities, and it really was a simple spell, useful primarily for entertainment, at least in the basic first-level form she'd been studying. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Overall, the only reason she could think of not to try it out was that it went against her standard practice protocol.
Oh, what the hey. Just keep in mind that there's a chance nothing interesting will happen. I might not get it right the first time.
Ah, come on! You're only like the best wizard ever! Dash gave Twilight a cheery shoulder punch. Twilight couldn't help but giggle.
Okay, let's see.
She looked down on the floor and picked up the dolls of herself and Pinky, then plunked the Dash down the doll from the table. Carefully moving all the plates and cups aside, she lined up the 3 toys and crouched down to bring her eyes level with them, horns softly glowing as she charged up.
Every pony stand back a bit.
Pinky, Dash, and Scootaloo got up and moved a short distance from the table, exchanging excited grins and bouncing with anticipation.
Okay. I'm sure they're doing just fine.
Rarity remarked casually, slightly winded, still at a full gallop. Applejack nodded confidently. Yeah, they're getting along like apples and cinnamon, no doubt. She wasn't slowing down in the slightest either.
Nothing's on fire, certainly.
Nah, of course not. They rounded the last corner and had a clear view of the library. See? It's still there. Oh, that's... See? It's still there.
Yep, everything is just...
BAM!
What the hell happened?
It was a massive...
Kaboom!
Yeah. Kaboom! I can't do that. It's too late. It was a massive flat wall of a sound, as if the world's largest book being slammed down onto the world's second or third largest table.
Ooh.
The library shuddered, throwing off a tiny sphere of leaves that expanded toward Applejack and Rarity. Before they were even able to jump in surprise at the noise, a shockwave of air and foliage slapped past them, lifting them briefly off their hooves. A thin-shaved instant later, they were forced to leap aside as a disembodied wooden door flew toward them with lethal speed. Holy crap!
Whoa! Flying doors? This cannot be good!
Farmer and Fashionista turned their heads and watched the door keep on flying and still upright with a certain regal dignity in its passage. Their eyes met. Everything's fine! They shouted at each other and sped toward the library. The door being out on sabbatical saved them a couple of seconds at least. Applejack burst in first, Rarity close on her heels. So worried as to be heedless of the mud she tracked in. They got only a couple steps in before halting and staring in horrified confusion. The interior of the library was a madhouse on its way to becoming a shambles. Furniture was tossed hither and yon, books scattered across the floor, sheets of paper blowing about in the wind about the opposite door. A mass of monstrous black tentacles and squirmed through the doorway that led to the kitchen, barely constrained by Twilight's magical shield bubble. Pinkie Pie was rolling about the floor, playing laughter and kicking her hooves, apparently being tickled without mercy by some unseen force.
Of course, Pinkie Pie loves explosions.
But holy crap!
Twilight, what the hell did you do?
I don't know!
All
You
around the
better
room,
start explaining!
I'm getting it. All around the room, a horde of tiny ponies no more than 3 inches high charged back and forth in panic, and the air was filled with similarly mild miniature Pegasi. Oh my god!
What?
Twilight! Do not make me go Ricky Ricardo on you!
Rainbow Dash was spinning and rolling furiously in midair, tormented by the looping blue streak of her own diminutive duplicate. Just to top it off the weirdness, all the normal-sized ponies were wearing fancy pants, dresses, and hats.
What in... Wait. Rarity saying tarnation?
Go on.
What in tarnation?
Rarity burst out, leaving Applejack speechless. For a moment, everything paused. Ponies big and small stopped in their tracks and stared at the interruption. Even the black tentacles paused, going up away from Twilight as though waiting also to see what would happen next. Tentacles.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
I agree, Gonzo!
Oh my god. Then Applejack's pie box dropped from her gulping mouth, landing flat on the floor with a slapping sound, and the madness resumed.
Applejack, over here!
Twilight called. The urgency in her voice had Applejack across the room in a couple of long strides. Sweat gleamed through Twilight's forehead as she maintained a steady beam of energy to the shield, while at the same time using her glow to reach on beyond it and grab out bundles of writhing tentacles. Through gritted teeth, she said,
If I let one through, they think you can stop it without getting snared?
I'll give it something to think about, all right, Applejack replied, with a curious blend of determination and anticipation. She turned to face away from the door and braced her forehooves, watching back over her shoulder. Twilight separated one tentacle from the squirming bundle in her magical grasp and pulled it down toward the corner of the door. Her eyes flickered wide as she stretched her power further to create a small glowing aperture in the shield, through which the tentacle surge released from her grip. Applejack hiked her hindquarters up high and slammed her hooves down onto the loathsome appendage. The muscular, squishing texture of it twisted her lip in a grimace, but the metallic roar of pain from within the kitchen and the rapid, slick retreat of the tentacle was a fine payoff. Applejack grinned. Ha! These suckers ain't so tough nor so fast. Reckon you can set a few more at a time, see how many I have to squash before whatever's attached to him in there gets the message. Oh, dear. I knew Sweetie Belle had something to do. What have you done, Sweetie Belle?
Sweetie Belle, you got some splaining to do.
Twilight gave a tight nod. The nearly solid stream of energy from her horn to the shield seemed to be restricting the movement of her head. The opening widened and a thicker bunch of tentacles were tugged down to shoot through it, meeting with sledgehammer pounding from Applejack's hooves.
What about me? What can I do?
Rarity floated helplessly behind Twilight. Through the crashing and roar, she could hear a familiar voice shrieking inside the kitchen, and it wasn't helping her composure at all.
Oh my goodness, Sweetie Belle! She's all right. She's stuck in the corner with Spike and Applebloom, but I've got the barrier between them and the monster.
Twilight's voice, tense and certain, seized hold of Rarity's rising panic and forced it down.
Wait. Oh, yes, right!
Rarity looked around in perplexity. Of course, she'd seen them upon entering, but it began to truly dawn on her that there really was a herd of animate toy ponies running around the library. A certain glassiness in her eyes indicated difficulty reconciling it with the realm of things she'd never expected to happen.
Twilight? Why are there? No time. Can you copy my shield spell? Not really. I've never done any better than the last time you tried to show me.
Rarity lacked Twilight's talent for the fine shaping of magic, and was no better at forming the high-precision geometry of a shield cell than Twilight would be at assembling a chic summer line. She was quite adept in handling several things at once with her normal blobby magic glow, however, and she hardly needed an impermeable sphere just to seize hold of the tiny ponies. Though they struggled in with greater strength than she expected, she was swiftly able to gather a dozen or so from the floor around her and floated them up to Twilight's view.
I can do this,
she said, a little defensive. However, they kicked and squirmed, the living dolls were no harder to keep hold of than a bushel of frogs, a comparison Rarity dearly wished she'd never had the experience to make.
Great! Round them up as many as you can!
Said Twilight. Bloom's in there? Applejack asked sharply. Twilight didn't answer in words, but the quick sidelong look she gave the Earth Pony was clear enough. Applejack rocked her head back and forth, crackling her neck. Her expression had hardened, grim as a tombstone. Give me more of them tentacles. Ooh. Shit's about to get real, son.
Mm-hmm.
You don't mess with the Bloom.
Don't mess with the Bloom. You'll get jacked.
Yeah. Rarity trotted alongside the center of the room, where Scootaloo was running back and forth, swinging a canvas book bag like a butterfly net, swinging up and climbing furniture and making wing-fluttering long hops, trying to catch the flitting toy Pegasi. Up near the ceiling, Rainbow Dash's biggest problem was Rainbow Dash. Well,
the toy. Right?
Ego versus ego.
Yes.
How does that medicine taste, Rainbow Dash? You're tasting your own ego.
Shut up.
Her toy doppelganger had a lot more room to maneuver in the library atrium than she did, and made good use of it, zipping and dizzying hoops and loops around the full-size Pegasus, and flicking in to deliver small but sharply targeted kicks and headbutts every few seconds. Ooh. The little creature was obviously convinced that Dash was some kind of giant monster, and wasn't inclined to listen to reason, which would have mattered more if the real Dash were inclined to use any. The flesh and blood Pegasus was getting woozy from trying to keep track of her antagonist's mad, swirling motion, and it didn't help that her eyes were watering from too many stinging kicks to the nose. Swinging her fore hooves wildly, she managed to catch the toy with a solid swat, sending it zipping towards Scootaloo, who had climbed one of the bookshelf ladders and was ready with the bag. Not bad. The next few moments were complicated. Scootaloo perched on top of the very step of the ladder, the step labeled clearly not to stand on. Oh, God.
The second rung.
Swung the canvas sack out in a wide sweep, and to her own surprise, successfully netted the miniature Dash. The toy Pegasus was disproportionately powerful, however, and instead of going down, the sack yanked upward, pulling Scootaloo's hooves from the ladder, which tipped over and fell clattering down, tying to rest against an overturned chair. Oof.
Ouch.
Squealing, Scootaloo was dragged out into the air, hanging from the sack like a very poorly designed hot air balloon, and swinging crazily as the flying toy zigged and spun. Oh, shit.
Yikes.
Jesus Christ, that is one tough Pegasus.
Somebody stop that toy.
Yeah.
One flailing hind hoof clipped the real Dash a smart blow right behind the ear, knocking loose the last fragment of wits. Eyes swirling and wiggly lopsided grin on her lips, Dash stopped flapping and dropped, landing sprawled across the floor, the foot of the fallen ladder. Oh boy.
She's out for the count. Ding ding.
Ding ding, motherfucker. Oh dear. Hang on, I lost my place here for a second.
The toy Dash.
Yeah, it's... Oh, come on. There it is. Excuse me. The toy Dash put on a final burst of speed and the filly's grip broke. Little wings buzzing ruthlessly, Scootaloo tumbled in an arc which ended, inevitably, on the longer end of the ladder that jutted upward over the chair. Oh.
That can't be good, right?
I don't think so.
Rarity closed her eyes. Scootaloo couldn't weigh more than a third as much as Dash, if that, but Rarity didn't need to see to know. Just know that the ladder would of course be balanced with just enough lever length on its upward end to combine with the filly's partial forward momentum and Dash's lingering aura of mass countering fly magic and... Ooh.
English?
And...
Sure enough, she heard in quick succession the thud and groan of Scootaloo hitting the ladder, the clack of the ladder's top hitting the floor, the shocked half-vocal woof from Dash, the flutter of a feather-winged body being launched at high speed, and the wince-inducing splat of that same body smacking against the ceiling.
Twilight, what have you done?
What has she done?
What the hell just happened?
No idea.
When commercials say batteries not included, it's a fucking good thing.
Twilight told you that she didn't want to do the spell, but you kept begging her on. You kept begging her on, and now look at the repercussions. You fucked the library up. You fucked the library up. Toys are going around. The door is 5 city blocks down the street, and now Dash is out, Scootaloo's banging about, and Sweetie Belle's in imminent danger. What the fuck?
What is going on? Get God goof, Twilight.
Oh boy. Dash bounced off the ceiling and fell in a spin, twirling like a wind-blown leaf as she stuck her wings out in a punch-drunk effort to catch herself. She tumbled more sideways and down, and finally crashed to a landing in Twilight's astronomy loft, quickly discovering how heavy and unpillow-like a telescope could be. Eee.
Ouch.
Dazed, she lay beneath the tumble of Twilight's books and apparatus for a moment, groaning softly and listening to the happy chirping birdies in her head.
Wow.
That is some heavy shit. Gradually, the fog lifted from her thoughts, and she pushed herself on her forelegs, clutter tumbling off her back. Halfway to standing, she froze, suddenly aware of eyes upon her. Owlicious and the hatchling phoenix Pee-wee. Huh?
Pee-wee? Wait, did the egg hatched?
What?
The egg that Spike saved from, what was it, Dragon Quest? It hatched?
What?
And it's canon?
Apparently.
Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Oh, where is
Pee-wee,
my mind?
steadfastly ignoring the fuss downstairs. We're
My
playing.
mind.
Go on.
My mind. This has been our broadcast day. Good night.
Yeah. They stopped to give Dash the same kind of blank, awkward stare that she would give if some pony crashed into her bedroom. She rose all the way to her hooves, shook her head to blow off the remaining dizziness, and flexed her wings. The birds were still staring at her. She cleared her throat. Yeah, carry on. They just kept staring. Ooh, suggested the owl. You guys could be trying to help or something, you know. Dash snapped, before leaping from the balcony and letting herself fall on a reasonably controlled glide to the floor. She really was glad to have chosen Tank as a pet. Honestly, sometimes birds just creeped her out.
Oh, see, creeper out. Oh my gosh, Rainbow Wait, oh yeah. Oh my gosh, Rainbow, I'm so sorry! Are you okay?
The filly looked so miserable over the accident that Dash was moved to reach over and scruff her mane affectionately. Don't sweat it, Squirt. You know me. I crash in a solid objects for breakfast.
What?
Here you go.
Rarity gave a little laugh.
Oh, oh, well then, you can help me get the rest of the little creeps.
On it! Not quite ready to take the air again, Dash set about prowling the room, pouncing cat-like on each toy pony she saw, and knocking them towards Rarity's magical grasp like hockey pucks.
Scootaloo, this book bag won't hold much more. Could you find something more appropriate to keep these ruffians in?
Scootaloo hopped up and down and snapped a salute.
You betcha!
She returned home soon with an owl-sized bird cage of brass wire that had fallen from the loft after Dash's tumble. Oh boy.
I think we're gonna need something a little more substantial than that.
Boys, I think we're gonna need a bigger cage.
Yep.
One with, actually not a cage, just something with less holes.
Like a giant metal box.
Yes. Metal boxes!
Yes.
Yes.
The bars looked sturdy and spaced close enough to prevent the toys from escaping, possibly. If they had been real-life ponies of the same size, you'd suspect they might be able to squeeze through, but you could feel with their magical grip that the toys were made of more solid material than flesh, not all squishy. She doubted they could even fold back their ears like real ponies.
It should do.
Flipping open the door and carefully flooding the toys from sack to cage. Yeah, this can't go wrong at all, can it?
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
The princesses of Equestrius peered out from underneath the lid of a giant box, surveying the lunatic scene playing out before them with expressions of stoic calm, despite the inner turmoil both felt. Oh god, those things came to life too?
Oh god!
So, and the princesses.
Oh boy.
Oh great, now we're gonna get to them now.
You don't have to if you don't want to, I'm Shadow.
Huh?
You don't have to if it's too much, I'm Shadow.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm saying like we're getting to their arc. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yes. Moments prior, they found themselves suddenly awakening inside the box, lying on their sides, nestled in form-fitting the indentations of a soft spongy material. Pulling free of the peculiar padding had been an awkward struggle, and even for ponies of their natural grace and poise, walking on the squishy stuff was a challenge. But they managed to explore the bleak confines of their cell without too much loss of their world dignity. There were no windows or doors, no furnishings, nothing at all but themselves and the sponge. Before long, though, they discovered that the roof itself...
Oh, hold on. You're kind of sounding quiet, and you're also being muffled by you hitting your microphone.
Ah, this chair. I'm trying to get in a good position. So, no windows or doors, no furnishings, nothing at all but themselves and the sponge. Before long, though, they discovered the roof itself was loose and they could be lifted without much effort. The view that greeted them outside was without parallel in long memories of either princess. They appeared to be tucked under a coffee table the size of a desert plateau, and beside that was a room Celestia recognized as the Golden Oaks Library, which is recreated on the scale of Titans. Yeah, that's really nothing. Now, Attack of Titan? That would be something else.
Oh, Attack of Titan, yes.
I fucking went there, yes.
Yes.
I don't know about that, so sorry. Let's go.
Celestia kept her rising alarm in check by telling herself firmly that there were many possible explanations and that it was only a matter of seeking more information to eliminate possibilities until only the truth remained.
What madness now has overcome our land?
Luna demanded. Her plans for dealing with the situation were more simple. Find out who was responsible and deal them a quick, sharp lesson.
I wish I had already ready... Oh, sorry. I wish I had a ready answer for that, but I fear it may be we, not the land, who are affected. I fear also that I might already know who will find up at the bottom of this. Your student Twilight Sparkle, do you mean?
Luna stomped her hoof to little effect on the soft flooring and gave a warrior snort.
fond as I am of Twilight and her band, too often does she overreach, it seems. If this is some experiment gone wrong, I'm sorry, but she's gone too far this time.
Celestia shook her head, lips pressed in a tight line.
You're not wrong there. I can't say yet what she's done, but pulling us into it is unacceptable.
Her frown deepened. What?
Seriously? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I can't tell if this is the toy Celestia or Luna or the real Celestia Luna.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I can't even tell. Have they been literally dragged into the dolls for some odd reason?
We should
Maybe
keep reading.
Yeah, we should read along.
Her frown deepened as she gazed into empty air, a crease of worry appearing beneath her brows.
I really can't say. Whatever has happened, it's put a damper on my senses. I can't read magic, and I'm finding distressing gaps in my knowledge as well. Have I been robbed of memories?
What?
Okay, I guess I can make a safe affirmation that it's just dolls, and that
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Luna gave her a look of shock.
No, accidental spell could be so strong. She could even breach your mind.
Her eyes dipped in a shadow of pain, making it clear that the name she wouldn't speak was not that of Twilight Sparkle.
To affect me in such a way without a trace and without a fight. No, I just don't believe that could be an accident. I could almost believe that Twilight might somehow accidentally, or by some peculiar chain of reasoning, shrink us, and maybe even stick us in a box. But that theory can only stretch so far. We have been too hasty blaming her, even if it does appear we've been hidden in her home. Some great danger is at hoof. Then what should we do next, do you suppose?
Luna sidled almost unconsciously closer to Celestia, who recognized what most would miss: the well-controlled traces of fear in her younger sister's keratin voice. Protectively, she spread her wing across Luna's back.
We should teleport back to Kennerlot, assess the scope of the situation, and act from there.
She said decisively.
Much as I'd like to find Twilight and see what she knows about all this, I think it would be more prudent to stay out of sight. Don't forget to adjust your port of skill, dear.
I don't think they can exhibit magic.
Even in the gravity of the circumstances, Luna chuckled and bumped Celestia's side in soft, playful reproach. Aw.
Perhaps you'd also like to wipe my nose?
Celestia laughed.
Sorry, Lou. Old teachers' habits die hard.
The two of them closed their eyes and brought forth spears of light that enveloped their bodies, Celestia in brilliant golden light and Luna in gentle evening blue. Unfortunately, in attempting the teleportation spells, the two toys expended entirely the stores of magical energy that had gone into their animation. Rather than going anywhere, the lights flickered and turned a glowing magenta, then simply blinked out with soft, feeble popping sounds. The dolls fell, once again mere objects, to the sponge floor of the storage box. Aw, man.
Well, so much for that. They tried, but they're just dolls. They can't exhibit
I feel like I
magic.
should be sad or something. I don't know.
Oh well. Let's go.
In short order, Rarity, Scootaloo, and Rainbow Dash had cleared the room of all the most visible dolls, and were scouting around carefully in bookshelves and under furniture for the more elusive ones. Fortunately, the animate toys didn't seem to be very bright, certainly nowhere near as difficult to catch as, say, mice or birds. A lot of the little beings were caught because they stopped to stare out blankly into space or thought they could hide by covering their own eyes. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Of course, Rarity was pointedly aware that her impression of the toys as easy to catch was based, rather by definition, only upon the segment that had in fact been caught. There could be any number of others successfully evading them. She nudged the toy Fluttershy, who went along readily and squeaked an apology for all the trouble, into the cage and squatted down to examine the roundup thus far. The cage was slightly more than halfway full, with around 40 to 50 of the mini ponies. Holy crap.
Jesus, Pinky! How many did you buy? Let's go.
Pinky.
Let's keep going. I believe that's Rarity next.
Do you have any idea how many there are?
She asked, more thinking out loud than really seeking an answer.
Hopefully this is at least half of them, or we'll need a bigger cage.
Dash shrugged. Not sure. They belong to Pinky. Oh! She and Rarity locked sour glances. Pinky! They shouted as one. Now that she'd been brought to mind, they became aware of the ongoing squeals from the pink pony. She was laughing wildly and uncontrollably and had been doing so for a long while now, with a rising hoarse note of distress in the sound. Dash and Rarity hurried over to where Pinky had rolled, into an alcove near the foot of the stairs where she was pinned on her back, legs filling. Oh god, she's getting...
What?
On closer approach, it became apparent that the thing tickling Pinky was some kind of wiggly, sinuous being resembling a short and very fast snake, slithering in rapid swirls around her body. Little clouds trailed up in the wake of the streaking creature, each puff solidifying and sprouting black legs to become part of a flock of tiny sheep and roam roll over Pinky, grazing on her fur and making the tickling even worse.
What?
On the summit of her tummy, bouncing merrily in time to the rise and fall of her laughter, was the toy version of Pinky herself, chanting,
No!
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 I read the next. I read what she says. I read what she says. Do not want.
Fun!
Oh,
God!
too many Pinkie Pies. Do not want.
God!
That episode is the bane of my existence.
Please, let's finish this. I cannot take this anymore.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Dash and Rarity exchanged glances of complete confusion, and then Rarity leaned in to snatch off the snake thing with her magic. It deftly dodged her first attempt, leaving her holding only a clump of minuscule sheep, with which she tossed hastily aside. On her second try, she snagged the thing and pulled it away from Pinky, whose helpless laughter subsided and allowed her to catch big, gulping breaths of relief. Dash seized the toy Pinky with a fierce scowl and gave it a rather harsh shaking, enraged by the edge of pain the real Pinky's gasping giggles. Oof.
Oh.
Ugh. Easy.
Rarity held up the snake creature and gave a cry of loathing as she recognized the misshapen serpentine form. She almost lost her grip on it, then tightened her magic firm enough to make the toy monster's eyes bug out.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Pinky! Rainbow Dash exclaimed, identifying the creature as well. Why do you even have a Discord doll? What?
Do
not want this live stream now!
Of Discord?
Yes.
I do not want. Get
away! Get off!
Ugh.
Hurry it up! I want to end this! Put me out of my misery!
Pinky rolled onto her stomach, still breathing heavily, squishing miniature sheep which gave bleaks of protest as they turned to puffs of mist and vanished. Between pants, she said, well, duh! Without the established existence of credible threats providing a total substrate of importance beyond the personal, even potentially potent domestic and interpersonal conflicts would be reduced to mere anodyne sentimentality.
Pinkie
What?
Pie?
Huh?
What? Wait. What did Pinkie learn to talk like that? Has she become discorded into being a egghead?
No!
Oh god, no.
Oh God, no!
Bad thoughts. Keep going.
Dash, Rarity, Scootaloo, and the Discord doll all froze and in unison blinked at her. Pinky tutted irritably. You need bad guys for a good story, silly!
Wait. Discord's gonna be in this? Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
No.
Do you know how much I want to... Now I'm starting to act like Gilda in that one animation where she chokes the shit out of Pinky.
Oh, that one. Little Discord smirked at Rarity and snapped his leonine forepaw. Rarity jumped back in alarm as a pillow-sized cloud of tiny daisies puffed into existence right in her face, hovering there however much she whipped her head about. Even flapping at them with her hooves only made the little flowers drift lazily away, giving the appearance that her head was stuck inside an invisible, spring-themed snow globe. With her magical world faltering on this distraction, the Discord doll struggled through the air, slipping behind some books on a high shelf. Oh
dear.
Hey, get him! Dash shouted, following her own command and leaping up to clear the books from the shelf with one broad swing of her hoof. Discord was already gone, though. Horse feathers!
These actually smell quite pleasant.
Rarity muttered distantly, dazed away from rationality for a moment as the flowers dissolved also into wisps of vapor. She blinked and shook her head, dispelling their traces.
Never mind, Dash. Let's just catch all the ones we can find and worry about that horror creature later.
Right, come on, Scoots! Dash dropped back down, and the four of them carried on the hunt for fugitive toys. Oh, Lord.
One of them might be a nice. One of them might help is Tommy Lee Jones at this point.
When Applejack had mashed around 20 of the slimy tentacles, the beast they belonged to had enough. Its roars of outrage gave way to a more whimpery sound, to the extent that such a house-shaking bass thunder could be called a whimper. All the free tentacles slithered back, and the ones Twilight had still held started trying to pull away rather than push against her. She let them retreat, keeping them lashed with her magic but giving them slack to withdraw, and began shrinking the shield bubble around them. The smaller the sphere grew, the more leverage Twilight had to force the tentacular horror down. Within the dwindling bubble, the individual tentacles seemed to be shrinking, forced not just physically away, but retreating along dimensions beyond the comprehension of Ponies. Finally, she had it crushed down to a sphere the size of a tangerine, contained within the monstrosity's point of origin, a black cast-iron kettle sitting on the counter by the stove.
Don't question
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
A bolt of lightning-bright energy from Twilight's eyes and horn crippled the kettle's lid firmly to its lip with a squeal of twisting metal and branded its rim with sigils of containment. Twilight's head dropped and she gave a deep, weary sigh.
Well, that much is taken care of.
She said. Exhaustion slumped every line in her body, and Applejack could see that all the magic had really taken the stuffing out of her. The hard-working farmer could sympathize with that for sure. She patted Twilight on the back. "You done good, Twi," she said heartily. Spike, Sweetie Belle, and Apple Bloom rushed over to hug Twilight's legs, chorusing agreement.
Thanks, every pony. You were amazing yourself, Applejack.
Twilight managed to smile, though she still looked like a pony who hadn't slept for days. Like she wasn't already.
Ugh.
Uh-huh.
Ah, word nothing. You didn't want to tell me what in the hay that thing was? Twilight looked down toward the pot, from which a few thin trailers of steam still rose. She shook her head.
I will as soon as I figure that out.
She said vaguely, then turned toward the door.
Right now, there's still more of a mess to take care of.
She trudged out of the kitchen with the others trailing behind her. Well, this isn't getting nuts at all.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Pinky knew her collection as well as she knew the actual population of Ponyville, and she estimated that only 10 or so remained at large. She wasn't entirely sure because she didn't have the heart to shake up the cage to see who might be in the center of the heap. To Rarity's dismay, the list of possible fugitives included some of the town's most intelligent, adventurous, or plain just devious ponies. Time Turner,
Time Turner.
Go
Filthy
on.
Rich, Villanote, Cloud Kicker, and the mayor among them, along with Ditsy Doo, whose well-known capacity for inadvertent disaster was matched in town legend only by the astounding coincidences that often rose to get her out of scrapes.
So they call her.
Well, all right then. Rarity wasn't sure whether there was any relation between the abilities of the real ponies and their doubles, but there did seem to be. The toy Rainbow Dash had been a notably better flyer than the other Pegasi, and little Applejack had been given a big dash, a fully apple-worthy buck in the nose, and the Pegasus bent down to make a joke about the 3-inch orange pony, giving her a sense of deja vu. The miniature Twilight Sparkle put up a genuinely intimidating magical resistance, which Rarity had overcome only by acting on the hope that the toy possessed some of Twilight's weaknesses as well, and applying her highest grade pleading pout. That's Rarity.
Yep.
Even so, Rarity got the sense that the toy hadn't been defeated. It would liberally acquisition. I don't know what that word is.
I don't know.
Yeah. And as she tossed her into the cage, she worried that little Twilight might have some clever plan in mind. Oh dear.
Let's hope not. Let's just clean up the mess now. And I say we got less than a half hour before I decide to cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still hadn't found little Rarity, which she thought was obscurely flattering, but that was no worry at all compared to the fact they hadn't spotted hide, hair, scale, nor feather of little Discord either. Shit.
Crap.
Son of a bitch. Where is
The
he?
search was interrupted when Twilight and the rest emerged from the kitchen. By silent consensus, the toy catchers all greeted them with big shiny grins of confidence. Twilight spotted the cage.
Ah, good. Did you get them all?
Well, Rainbow Dash began, scratching at the back of her head uneasily. Her eyes, along with those of Pinky, Rarity, and Scootaloo, scanned all around the bookshelves. Maybe?
There's some.
Sweetie Belle shouted. Rarity jumped and gave an involuntary yip, seeing that Belle was pointing at the floor right next to her. But when she looked down, it was only a pair of, well, herself. Nothing draconic at all. The two Rarity dolls pushed and squabbled with each other in squeaking voices as they approached the real Rarity in tiny fury.
This humongous creature is a base impostor.
Squealed the smaller one, pointing an accusing hoof.
I am the only true Rarity. Liar, changeling.
Shrilled the other, knocking the little one aside.
You're just a cheap knockoff. I'm the real thing.
They leapt upon one another and rolled about in an entirely unladylike display of hoof-to-cuffs.
Hoof-to-cuffs.
Yes.
Can we go?
Rarity looked down on them in more ways than one. She couldn't quite make out what they were saying in their high-pitched, fast-paced voices, but the gist seemed clear enough, and she hardly approved of it.
All right, you peculiar little things, that's quite enough,
she declared. Without turning away from her tiny duplicate, she reached behind her with her magic to lift the hat she bought for Twilight and floated it a short distance above the dolls.
I can assure you that I am the real Rarity, and I have a giant hat.
She dropped the hat, ending the squeaky debate and imprisoning the toys with a very final plop.
Your argument is invalid.
I am the real Rarity, and I have a huge hat. Your argument is invalid. Thank you, Internet.
Yes. Silence filled the library like invisible lead, broken only by the occasional thud and tinkle of falling books and bits of ceiling. Slowly but inexorably, every eye turned toward Twilight Sparkle, who hunched down her head.
Twilight, my dear,
said Rarity, turning a lethally sharp raise of her eyebrow toward the blushing scholar.
Why do I have a feeling that it's you, in particular, who have a lot of explaining to do?
In the next chapter, Twilight uses science words.
I say let's
call it a night, because it, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do this any longer.
To be continued. Oh, I hope I live.
Billy and Manny for the win.
Yes.